the DPA man is back once again. You all know who he is, Emeka, who was recently announced RIP, and I said it's not a good thing. It is not acceptable, regardless of how it is. It is not acceptable. No, not at all. I will not support that. I know the guy must have said certain things and acted in a certain way, but putting RIP on someone because they do not agree with what you agree with, or I mean, it is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he wrote this right there. I just want you guys to digest a little bit. He said clarification that he wants to make some following points. One, he said he worked on May's case for 3 years, and I met with her many times physically, usually in the company of her sister, and the meetings were in my office except when we met at Zone 2 police station, and when we had a meeting of all the legal team at Femi Falana Chambers in 2022. This meeting were not random meetings. It was planned. We planned each meeting and spent time on each meeting. Apart from the meetings, May and I spoke many times on the phone. We exchanged texts. We exchanged voice notes. Many times we had conference calls with our family, with her and her family, and we did this for 3 good years. That was when Mr. Emeka was on the right side of Maynation. Immediately, he felt he is all powerful. Immediately, he felt that he has the control. In fact, there was a time he said that everybody should come get update and information from him, and that no other person out there. That was when I knew. That was when I knew that this man is heading towards a fall. He said he's the only one that can decimate information. Nobody should listen to anybody. It is this and that. He didn't apply wisdom. He did not realize that the public can do and undo. Anyway, let me continue with what he kept on saying. He said I became a lawyer 33 years ago. Okay? So I should have the ability to know a person very well. Suppose, after interacting with them for 3 years, as I did with May, so I am always surprised when people try to tell me that May is like this, is like that. That she is silent or not. That she doesn't respond to people and that she suffered this and that. Can't you see that I know May 100 times better than you know her? Hey. Okay. So you cannot be the one to tell me about May. Rather, I should be the one telling you about May. For me, to be involved in your divorce for 3 years, I will know you better than you know yourself. Now, that's an understatement, right? Knowing someone better than they know themselves. That expression. Anyway, let us push. Let us proceed. 3. When I tell you that May can control our supporters, I know what I'm saying because we have done that many times before. We know how to redirect the flow of discussion, and we did that many times in our case in the past. We know how to alter the topic, and we did that. We know how to insert ideas, etc. That is actually one of my skills in strategic communication. Mr. Emeka, you have to give us instances of how you directed, I don't want to use the word manipulated the public. Was it you manipulating the public with your articles? Or was it Mary that dedicated her time into writing any of this? Because I can't find any of it. And neither is she granting any interview. So how? Possibly you. And you have to show proof that she agreed and accepted that you should change the narrative and direct the flow, the conversation. So if May wanted her supporters to stop saying I was not hired by her, it would take a one word or just one gesture to stop it. When members of Maynation created a fake social media account in the name of May's daughter and began to use that account to insult you, May stopped it. Immediately, she came out to condemn it. That account was closed within 30 minutes. Okay, you have given one instance. You have given one instance. She did not want her daughter to now, in fact, I think her daughter also talked about it. Anyway, let me proceed. So if May wanted to stop the attacks on DPA, she didn't even need to say a word to anyone. She only needs to share a DPA post or comment on it for her supporters to back off or back down. Okay. So right from the moment May shared her social media, the letter we sent Sarah Martins, people who knew nothing about us began to send her messages making false allegations about me. May would forward those messages to me, even with the names of those who made the allegation. She and I would dismiss them. So the nonsense Amarani is sharing on her blog, she doesn't know we had more. But as I said, Amarani is just inviting trouble for herself. I hope she is ready. She wants to lose all the money she got from monetization and face more trouble. Okay. That's fair enough, right? Let's proceed. She will stand alone because she will not be able to call Judith Obasi. Judith Obasi is not Judy Austin per se. Those are one of the people that are giving Lawyer Emeka hell on earth. Yeah, they are the ones showing him yam pepper scatter, pouring it inside of his eyes. May is not silent at all. She is very active, calculating, aggressive person. She's also very cunning. Very active. Okay. May is a very active person. All right. I never saw Mary as someone who will not be active. I've never looked at her as someone who is not active. She's very active. Of course, even at birthday when they brought the cow, she showed that she's a very active person and doing what she does. She's very active. The only thing she is very quiet about is that the only thing she is very conscious about and cautious about is a public discussion about her marriage. She won't come on social media and start saying, oh my God, hey, God will punish you, Judy Austin, you stole my husband. She's not that ras. That's what the silence means. When people say she's a silent person, they are not saying she does not talk. No one is saying she does not talk, man. Nobody said. Do you think May and Edochie do not quarrel or have their argument? Or you think Mary is perfect? Who said so? But we are saying that in this case of her divorce and whatever it is that happened, and she's not the first shooter, Edochie did publicly, even if she did secretly, we don't know. She kept majority to herself. The only time she reacted because people wanted her to do something, or maybe she felt she needed, was when Edochie said 2023 is the best year of my life. She had to come back and put it that 2023 is the year my blood and flesh was stolen from me, taken from me. So being an aggressive person, it could be that she's aggressive, but in a quiet way. What an aggression. Anyway, she's also very cunning. All right. You know, when you are up against your enemy will look at you and say you are cunning. But when you are friends with that same person, you will say that person is very smart and intelligent. You see? The reason she doesn't talk publicly is simply because she wants to be able to deny responsibility for practically everything. You was not the first to take their case to social media. He merely responded to it. May uses social media when she likes. She put out letter to Sarah Martins on social media. She put the letter demanding 1.5 million against me on social media. She wanted to lie against me, but made it look as if it was only what a lawyer wrote. she hoped to blame the false content of that letter on the lawyer. She posted a similar letter on a lawyer. A lawyer wrote to Yinka. However, they never sent a letter to Yinka. So what May did was to defame me while pretending not to defame me. She's manipulative. No, putting it on her page shows that she instructed a lawyer. A lawyer cannot act without a consent. She employed, paid for the services. Oga Emeka, you are a lawyer. Why are you acting unintelligent here? 6. From every indication, I was one of the best people to effectively represent her. Now, you are blowing your trumpet. They can try anything now to discredit me, but let them replace me now if they can. Find a replacement for DPA. If they do, it will cost them a fortune. But I know they cannot, because DPA renders unique services. So I'm not going to. You are marketing yourself now. The public is terribly brainwashed about May and about me. They actually believe that May's case is so important, I must want to be in it. No, May's case is not different from any other divorce case except you is a celebrity. Okay? All right. Now, you said your interest in May's case was to use it to advocate against forced polygamy and abuse of women. For me, May is the wife of a celebrity whose case attracted a large sympathy. That was my definition of May. She may have gained fame in her own right, and I admit that, but she was my client, and I expected her to follow instructions and advice. No client is stupid to do that. 8. Why continue to discuss her case? 50% of the time I will do it in self-defense, and 50% of the time I do it for educational purposes or in the public interest. You do not realize the danger a group like Maynation poses for society. An unaccountable group that could commit crimes without consequences or consequence. Today, they are targeting me. Tomorrow, it could be anybody. Anyway, lawyer Emeka, it is what it is. As it is right now, well, you can continue. You're also gaining something of this. You're gaining engagement on your page, which is fine for educational purposes, as you said. I've touched on some few things that you have raised, and I've also given you my own opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this?